Hi, I'm Jim Brett, President and CEO of the New England Council. Thanks for tuning in to this month's episode of Inside the Corner Office, where we catch up with the leaders of some of our region's most well-respected businesses and organizations to learn more about their career paths and about the institutions they lead. This month, I had the opportunity to talk with the President of Emmanuel College, Dr. Beth Ross, who took office as president in January 2024. After over 2 decades in leadership roles on campus. President Ross shared her path to the presidency, where she had a front row seat to Emmanuel's incredible growth over the past 25 years. We also talked about how Emmanuel works to prepare students for the workforce through internships and partnerships with local employers. I got her thoughts on proposed changes at the federal level that would impact the higher education sector. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this episode. President Ross, thank you so much for taking time to join me today, and a belated congratulations on your 1-year anniversary as president. I am so glad that our members have a chance to get to know you and to get to know Emmanuel better. So let's start with your background. You have something of a very unconventional path to becoming the president of Emmanuel. Tell us a little more about your background and the career path.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, Jim. And I would say unconventional is indeed my path. I've shared this story with a few people, but I came into the higher education world when I was 17. I was a freshman at Suffolk, and I went to the financial aid office to get a work-study job. And they told me that I should go to the student accounts office, and that office was down 1 flight of stairs and to the left. And so I went to the down one set of stairs and to the left, and I talked to somebody who interviewed me on the spot, and they gave me this work-study job. And a couple of weeks later, I came for my first day, and they told me it was the registrar's office, and it wasn't even the student accounts office. So I started already in the wrong office. But landing there was really serendipitous for me. I was offered a full-time position a year later in my sophomore year, and I had the opportunity in that registrar's office to have multiple progressively more responsible jobs. At the same time, I was pursuing both my undergraduate degree, which I earned there, and my master's in education. So after serving in multiple roles at Suffolk in the registrar's area, I had a short break at Northeastern before coming to Emmanuel in 2000. So I've been here almost 25 years. I came as the college registrar. And although it's likely cliche to say this, at a small place, you get to wear a lot of hats, which I was very fortunate to have that opportunity to really learn from some pretty amazing mentors here and take on different responsibilities. So again, just turned into multiple different roles in the academic affairs area. I built out our institutional research office, which was, in the early 2000s. Obviously worked with our international programs and our graduate programs. And then decided to go back and do my doctorate in higher education and assessment and learning outcomes. And then had the opportunity to work with our faculty on some curriculum redesign work. And then was the Dean of Institutional Effectiveness and Chief Data Officer when the board asked me if I would be willing to serve as the acting president. And the rest is history.
Exactly. So when the opportunity became available for you to take the role of president, what inspired you to say yes?
It's interesting. A student asked me if I said yes right away, and I told her that I did because I couldn't imagine this opportunity. I'm so blessed and privileged to have this role. It's the privilege of my life. And at the investiture that back in October, when they formally installed me as the president, I told them that the lead here for me is love. It's love for the mission of the college, for the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, who founded the college back in 1919, and for the students and the faculty and the staff who are here. I mean, they, that's what keeps me here. That this is what has always inspired me. When I see what students, do at the time when they leave the halls here, it's really impressive, and that's really what drew me to being part of that, to lead that in the future. I think unknowingly, I was likely preparing for this role, for a long time. I served with a colleague as the co-chair of our NETCHI accreditation process. And so every 10 years, as you know, there's a comprehensive review. And I didn't understand at the time, but this was really great training ground for me. I was not only poking my head under the tent of all different dimensions of the college, but I was also bringing together a group of particularly faculty and staff, but certainly our students, and really assessing where we were as a college, what we were doing really well, what we needed to improve or enhance, and then what we needed to do to be successful for the next 10 years. And so that opportunity to galvanize a group of people over an 18-month period really provided some excellent training for me.
So now you're in your 1-year role as the president. What have been some of the highlights of the first year?
Well, I hate to keep going into student successes, but that's what we're all about. I'm so proud of the students that we graduate from Emmanuel. We've had so many successes, and these are highlights that I would consider for the first year. One is we just got an NCLEX pass rate for our nursing program of 100%. So the first time that they're taking the NCLEX pass rate, they're doing really, really well. I'm so proud of, we have a new Fulbright winner for this year. We have students who just really launch from Emmanuel and go on to really top-notch organizations. So they're getting jobs at KPMG and at Fidelity and at Boston Children's and at the office, of the governor. And so they're taking on some really amazing jobs, and I'm really proud of those. The college over the last few years have started a number of new academic programs, which we're really excited about. And they're in the areas of global and public health and marketing and finance and biotechnology and computer science. And so to see students, kind of vote with their feet and go to some of these brand new programs where we have faculty supporting them has definitely been a highlight. And I would say some of the speakers that we have the opportunity to bring onto campus and then I can introduce to our community, to our students, faculty, and staff, that's been really quite the highlight too. We had Feng Zhang here on campus back in the fall, and his, brilliant work with gene editing. It's remarkable that I have the privilege to do this.
Well, you've come to the role knowing the institution well over 2 decades there, but there has to be some surprises that you were not prepared for.
Well, I would say January has been something that I wasn't prepared for. No, I mean, seriously, I think there's been so many surprises, so many new people and new experiences and external opportunities that I had not always been kind of tuned into. So amazing challenges, as we talked about, just with being responsive to some of the things that are coming down with the new administration. I often say that it's almost like Google Maps. Before I had the street view where I had a really good sense of, the people and the programs and the initiatives and the students and where the areas were. And now I have this satellite view where you can see how it all interconnects and you see the opportunity that presents itself to share what's happening here in the external world.
When you arrived at Emmanuel, a few years ago, it was an all-women's college with a declining enrollment. And today it's obviously a very different story. You might even call it the Emmanuel miracle. And you had a front row seat to all of this. Tell us a little more about how the college has evolved.
Yeah, I did have a front row seat to some pretty transformative events happening. So I started in 2000, as you said, Y2K, June of 2000. And we were at the time a women's institution and had been for 80 plus years. And the leadership team with the trustees and the president decided to admit young men and become coeducational, which really did, at the time, looking at the number of students who were interested in an all-women's institution was very, very small. And so they made this decision, but they made this with such intention. And they wanted to make sure that as they made this transition, that we didn't lose the spirit of the college and what was important in the traditions. And so they were very particular and intentional about that. And I had the opportunity to work on those transition plans, which was exciting. But at the same time, what happened, which I think was this really amazing and bold and pioneering kind of initiative, was to partner with Merck. And so we have Merck Pharmaceuticals, their research lab is on our campus, the only college campus in America that has a research lab. And they're on our campus. And that just really created the conditions for us to use that as a launching point. So that allowed for us to modernize our beautiful campus. I think you've been on campus. It's a beautiful modern space for living and learning. And it really also provided kind of the beginning of some really amazing partnerships that we've had over the years. But with the Merck, students are able to do internships, and there's multiple opportunities for us to engage with Merck being on our campus. So it really, now we're sitting at, 1,900 students at the undergraduate level, and just, really, I think I love the idea of an Emmanuel miracle. I might use that.
Use it. We missed our dear friend, Jack Connors, who was a dear friend of yours and mine. And I believe he was a two-time member of the Emmanuel board and played as usual, what he did, just an important role in the college transformation. But who are some of the other people that have played a role there?
Yeah. So Jack was such a good friend of the college.
Right. Yep.
He actually served as our commencement speaker in 2024.
Right. Yeah.
And I just think about those moments that I had right before we went under the tent, and and 2 months later when he passed. Yeah. Such a loss for our community, not just Emmanuel, but for the whole community. And it would be hard for me really to list all of the influential people, the people who have really helped us succeed. I think first and utmost is Sister Janet Eisner, our president emerita. She served as 43-year president, historic presidency. Yeah. And I had the opportunity for the last half of that to take a master class from her. I think one of her close partners and advisors was Sister Ann Donovan, our treasurer, who was really instrumental in the Merck partnership. And that, again, a choice that really changed the trajectory of Emmanuel. We're blessed with trustees who are not only brilliant, but are so very supportive. I can't name them all, but say Tom Hines from Colliers and Bill Kennedy and Margaret McKenna, our amazing board chair from Fidelity. And also I would say Marion Ryan, who is the DA of Middlesex County. She's a proud Emmanuel alum, and she will be also serving as our commencement speaker this coming year. So the students are really excited. I'm excited to welcome her. And then, of course, we've had so many good friends and benefactors over the years, but I would say from a transformational perspective, Maureen Murphy-Wilkins, who's named not only our Science Center, but also our School of Nursing. So very grateful to her and so many benefactors.
Yeah, it's a great list. You mentioned a little earlier about just the location where you are. You're in the Fenway neighborhood. You're in the Longwood Medical Academic area. So obviously, it has given tremendous benefits to the students. But can you talk a little bit about how all those institutions are working with your students?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are in this amazing location with Longwood, as you mentioned. We're, Bright Minds right now are top notch in terms of patient care and leading in biomedicine. And we are, and then obviously Fenway, which is kind of, I'm pointing over here, but, just a lively, really energized kind of area of the community. So it kind of gives our students the best of both worlds. But we're active members of this community. We're part of the Longwood Collective, of course, the Fenway Alliance, where, that's for the cultural and educational organizations in the area. And I think we do a lot to really bring these partners together to offer amazing internships, right? We're recognizing where workforce demand is, how it applies to some of the academic programs and being responsive to that. I mean, our largest employer post-graduation is Boston Children's. And so, we have these amazing partners with Beth Israel and Brigham and Women's and Dana-Farber and not only just the hospitals in the Longwood medical area, but also our community partners. We're a longstanding partner of Mission Grammar, and having those Mission Grammar scholars on campus to see what it's like to be a college student, I think is a really important thing. So we are all in this amazing area that we're privileged to be a part of.
Speaking of the proximity to Longwood, I know that Emmanuel launched the nursing school in 2019, which I understand has been a huge success. But what prompted the decision to launch that new school, and obviously how it has grown?
Sure. So I think we were building on a long-standing commitment to not only nursing, but for STEM. So we've had since the 80s a program for those who have registered nurses who want to get their baccalaureate degree. So it was really to build on that, recognizing the workplace need for additional nurses. Obviously, there was a shortage, and the relationships and the partnerships that we had with all of these hospitals are really what allowed for us to build out this program. And as you said, we started it in 2019. So we've had 2 graduating classes. The 3rd is graduating this year. This 100% NCLEX pass rate is really, really significant for us. I think it's a testament to the nursing faculty that we have who are really committed to the whole student. And I think that, you know, the demand is great. I wish we could admit more students, right? I think we're able to bring in 80 students at this point. We have more than, excuse me, 1,000 applications for the nursing program. So it's a fairly competitive program. But I mean, these are students who are doing clinicals at all of these institutions, and our students are graduating and they're landing full-time positions in not only the institutions in the Longwood Medical, but also the MGH or Spalding. And so we're really excited about that. And I think we're at the perfect location for us to really understand the needs of the hospitals and have that influence the way that we develop programs. I just had the opportunity last week to attend the Blessing of the Hands, which is something we do every year for our sophomore students before they go for their clinicals. And it just underscores the impact that, you know, nursing students, but Emmanuel students, you know, will have in the, you know, in their professions. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a great program. We're really proud of it.
Yeah. You touched on the relationship with the business community. Do you want to say any more about the Emmanuel Business Collaborative?
I would love to.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. So the Emmanuel Business Collaborative was started about 5 years ago through our School of Business and Management. It's a partnership with the Boston Chamber of Commerce, and it's funded by the Cummings Foundation. And essentially, it is partnering our students, our current business students, with organizations. A lot of them are women-owned businesses that have similar values that Emmanuel has, you know, in terms of social justice and inclusion. And it allows the companies or the organizations to come up with a business challenge and where they need some help or where they're trying to grow. And then it allows our students to take that time to really hone their research and analysis skills and their decision making. And what they do is they then produce a actionable business case for the organization, and then the organization is benefiting from that research and analysis. So we're really excited about that partnership. We also, as part of the Emmanuel Business Collaborative, have the opportunity to bring luminaries to our campus. And so we've had the pleasure of welcoming Nubar Afayan from Moderna, Wick Grossback from the Celtics. This past spring, we had Mary Alice Stevenson from Glam for Good. You may have read about what she's doing for the LA wildfires. And then next month, we'll have Joe Nolan from Eversource. So it's really a great opportunity to bring these leaders, you know, to campus and for them to see what's happening on campus and also share, obviously, their insights and experience with our students.
Great. You know, we know that one of the keys to career success is getting hands-on learning opportunities. I know that you talked a little bit about the internships and other field experiences as an integral component of Emmanuel's education. Tell us a little more about the college approach to internships and how those opportunities are really preparing the students for success.
Sure. So each fall, when our entering students come in, they're assigned a career counselor. And so we want to bake that career education into their curriculum from the get. And so they're given a career counselor. And in their second semester at the college, they engage in a course called Career Engagement. And so essentially that's an opportunity for them to go through the 6-week course just to prepare them and to have them start thinking about careers. They don't need to know what they want to do, you know, when they grow up, but they want to be, you know, there's a number of assessments that go into helping students who are navigating those choices, and then also preparing them for their internship, which takes place anytime, really, from sophomore, you know, students. We have, I think, a third of our students take more than one required internship. So it really just gets them a LinkedIn profile and a professional headshot, and to really start thinking about how they will begin that internship program. And we find that about a third of the students who get internships at Emmanuel are given offers. And we saw last year that, you know, they're getting offers to, you know, some top-notch locations like KPMG and all the
Right.
others. And also the other part of career is also graduate school, right? Depends on what they are looking to do. And so we've seen some amazing outcomes with our students going to graduate schools at, Georgetown and Harvard Chan and, BC and Duke. And so we're really proud of the work that's being done with the Career Center, but also with our faculty as it relates to original research. And, one of the benefits of being small is that you are known by your faculty and you are often contributing to papers and conferences as part of a research team.
What makes you so bullish about Emmanuel, especially in these challenging environment that we all face, in particular liberal arts colleges?
Well, I think you can probably tell I'm pretty bullish about
Yeah, you
Emmanuel.
are. You are.
It's a pretty special place. And I would say,
Yeah.
we talked a lot about the location and, niche.com voted Emmanuel the best college location in the country for the last 2 years. And so it's more than location though, right? It's amazing. Yeah. This location is amazing, yeah. But it really is about our graduates and it's about our ability to be the engine of workforce development, right? We are able to get students prepared to really contribute in their professions after graduation. And so I feel like, we have this amazing community. Community is our superpower. Everybody who works on this campus understands the importance of helping launch, elevate our students. And I think that we have the right combination of what we need to ensure success for our graduates and have that impact the city and the Commonwealth.
So looking ahead to your leadership at Emmanuel for the next 25 years, what is your vision for the future of that great college?
Yeah. I mean, what an opportunity this is. Just this place, this time. I'm so very excited about it. I think understanding the foundation that has been laid for us by those leaders like Sister Janet, Sister Ann before, I think that we need to think about some bold moves, right? I mentioned the accreditation process and this idea of this 18-month kind of study of where we were. That laid the perfect foundation for the development of our strategic plan, which is a 10-year plan, which is essentially securing our future by unleashing our potential, becoming a clear choice, and holding true to who we are. So that is the theme, and I think it's really we really want to make the most opportunities of this space and lean into the partnerships that we have valued and cultivated over the years. And again, hold up our side of the bargain as we think about educating students in this dynamic learning community.
We always like to wrap up these conversations talking a little bit about what is going on in our nation's capital and how federal policy is impacting our region. That the New England Council has long advocated for increasing the maximum amount for the Pell Grant as a key tool to make higher education more accessible. But can you speak to how important the Pell Grant is for the students? You're on the front line in that.
We are on the front line of that. And obviously federal financial aid is indispensable, particularly the Pell Grant. Emmanuel was founded with the core of empowerment and educational access, right? The sisters opened Emmanuel in 1919 to prepare women who at that point weren't able to get an education. So this is core to us. We have 26% of our students are first generation. And we contribute quite a bit of our operational budget to financial aid, and it needs to be augmented with the Pell Grants and some of the other federal financial aid. But our job really is to make sure that those students who have financial need do not have to focus on that, but they focus on their learning and what they are able to advance with a college education at Emmanuel.
The Pell Grant program is, of course, administered by the U.S. Department of Education, and the president has moved to eliminate in one of his recent executive orders. Can you share your insight on how eliminating this key federal agency would impact the higher education community, and more importantly, the students that you serve?
Well, I hesitate to predict what the Trump administration will do and right. What, some of these actions, whether they'll be challenged by the courts. I think we certainly are very well aware of the challenges in higher education, and we certainly understand what the Department of Education does. And I'm a data. I come from a data background. Even just the accreditation changes, if that was to go to the states, there are significant challenges. I think we're approaching it as we're going to be adaptable and nimble as these changes come, and keep ourselves well informed and appreciate the advocacy that we receive from the New England Council and others, and do what we can.
Right. Well, with that, I just want to thank you, President Ross, for taking the time to join me today. And perhaps more importantly, thank you for the important work you're doing at Emmanuel to prepare the next generation workforce for our region. Again, creating that Emmanuel miracle. And I think it's safe to say that the college is truly in great hands with you at the helm. So with that, I thank all of you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And I hope you learned an awful lot of the good work that is being done right here in the Boston area and the Longwood area at Emmanuel. Please be sure to tune in next month. I guess will be John O'Brien, the Chief Executive Officer of Gera Americas, one of the world's leading energy companies. Thank you.